Welcome to the next lesson of Amazing Selling Machine, your ongoing content marketing strategy. And here's what we'll be covering in this lesson. Why you should use content to sell your products on Amazon, when to post, how much to post, what to post, and where to post, and also how to track the performance of your social media efforts. There are lots of reasons why you should use content to sell your product. The first is it's free advertising, although at times you may decide to spend a little money and promote some of your content. You also establish brand credibility. It allows you to promote your brand without selling anything at all. It allows you to continually build a bigger email list. And it forces you to educate yourself about your market and your customers. Now, as a bonus tip, be sure to check out our interview with a super successful member, Ann Ferris, to hear how she used YouTube videos to help launch her product. It's in the supplementary lessons and calls module, and in there, she talks about how easy it was to get her product started and selling, and because it worked so well, she didn't even have to do a full product launch. If you're wondering when, where, how, and how much content to put out there, here's something important to keep in mind. Quality content every once in a while is far better than poor content all the time. But of course, quality content as often as you can is always the best. Now, you should already have your social media channels set up, such as Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, YouTube, and any others that you created, such as Instagram, email, and even your website blog. So how do you know how often to post on each of those channels? Well, there's no perfect answer for all markets, but here are some good guidelines to start with. On Facebook, post once a day. Twitter, up to 3 times a day. Email 1 per week, except during a promotion, you can post more often. Instagram, at least once a day. Pinterest, 3 times a day. And then YouTube, once per week. Again, those are just guidelines to get you started until you start to know your market and your customers better. When putting content out there, it's important to balance the content you provide and also any types of coupons or promotions you're also providing. You simply can't just post a coupon every day. That will not work well for you. You need to give them usable, valuable content the majority of the time. But exactly what's the right mix of content versus promotion? Again, these are just guidelines, but these will help get you going. On Facebook, we create 1 promotional post for every 10 content posts. Twitter, 1 out of 15. Email 1 to 2, Instagram 1 to 10, Pinterest 1 out of 15, and YouTube 1 out of every 5 videos can be promotional. Now, once again, these are just guidelines that you started with, and once you get to know your customers much better, you can definitely tweak these ratios. If you're wondering what kind of content to post, here are some ideas. First, whatever you do post should be relevant to your types of customers, such as helpful tips that are related to anything in your market. It doesn't always have to be about your product. You can also post feel-good stories, anything you find in the news, videos, photos, even some funny memes. You can also just look for general news and even other people's content that's relevant to your customers. Positive product reviews about your product on Amazon are a good idea. Photos of people using your product are great. You can even use contests and maybe email your customers and offer a free product for the first 5 people to send you in a picture of them with your product. That's a great idea that several members have done. And just any kind of exciting company updates. If you've launched a new product, you got top ranking on Amazon, you reached a milestone for any type of number of views, or just any other general milestone, maybe you've been selling now for 2 or 3 years. Those types of information are great ways to find additional content for all your different social media outlets. Now, if you need some specific ideas on the type of content to promote, here are some ways to find it. First, check out your competition's social media pages. Look for the types of things that they're posting and find some that are similar of your own. You don't want to copy anyone else's, but it should give you some inspiration and ideas of what you should be posting as well. You can also sign up for your competition's email list. That way it always gives you a good idea of what they're telling their own customers to see if you want to tell your customers something similar or hopefully even improve upon it. And there are several sites out there on the internet that will help you find and keep track of all different kinds of content ideas based upon your market and niche. And all of these have some type of free version. There's BuzzSumo, Google Alerts, Google News, something called Feedly, and another site called Scoop It as well. Let's take a quick look at these just to give an example of what they have. This is BuzzSumo right here, and while they do have a rather costly monthly version of this, you can get ideas by just going to their main page and typing in a topic, and they're going to show you different articles over the past year that have had a lot of engagement. This is one way to look and see what's been popular this past year. And as you can see here, they actually tell you how many different people engage with it on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, or even Reddit. So it's a great way to see what was really popular over the past year. Here's just the simple alerts.google.com. This is really great if you want to keep up to date on what's going on in your industry. You tell Google what you're interested in, and then you'll automatically get alerts every single day when new stories come out about your topic. Now, very similar to that is Google News. I go on the Google News all the time to search for recent news stories about our industries. Now, you'll notice there's some crossover between alerts and news, and that's totally fine. I like to use them both. One that I didn't know about is called Feedly.com. And again, this has a free version where you'll go out there and you'll put in a topic that you're interested in, and they're going to find different stories out there from all over the internet about that topic. And then the last one, it's called Scoop.it, or Scoop It is the way that I always pronounce it. This one actually shows you lots of images and articles from all over the internet about different topics as well. Let's do a quick review again of your content marketing frequency. Daily, you should be posting on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. And weekly, you should be emailing and creating a new YouTube video. And each day's content for each channel doesn't have to be unique. You can actually share the exact same content across all your media channels. And feel free to link your content across those channels. For example, your tweet can reference your Facebook post, and your Facebook post can be a link to a YouTube video that you posted earlier. And here's a tip. Facebook and Eastmail can be planned out well in advance and set to automatically go out on schedule. You don't really have to do this stuff all daily. Just once a week, you or someone working for you can set all these up, and then everything else can run on autopilot throughout the week. As with any type of marketing or promotional activity, you should try and track your results to see how well you're doing. With content marketing, it's not always that simple, but there are some things we can look at. The first and the easiest to look at is engagement. It's the easiest for tracking, but it doesn't necessarily result in sales. But you can look at things such as likes, interactions, shares, retweets, pins, views, etc. Another metric to look at are followers. If you have a steadily growing following, it's a good measure of your performance. I track these numbers weekly in my performance checklist and recommend you do the same. You can also look at your coupons and emails, and I use landing pages for the promotional posts and offer limited time coupons. Not only does it help build a list, but it builds sales and allows us to track our results. And here's a bonus tip, but it might not be for everyone. If you're able to do so, try setting up an Amazon Associates account and use different tracking IDs for each one of your social media accounts. That way you can see exactly how many sales are being driven by each of those different channels. But one thing to keep in mind, this is very important, you cannot use associate links in any type of paid advertisement. So don't use them in any boosted or promoted posts or in any email as well. And now it's time to take action. If your product's live, or if you're waiting for your product to become live, start planning out your content marketing strategy. It's never too early to start thinking about that. And coming up, it's time to learn about a fairly new feature inside of Seller Central that never used to be available to sellers. It's called Amazon Coupons. So head on over, and I'll see you in the next lesson.